gonna keep jamming on this foot plate. We have one mount done already. So I got one of our mounts right here. So I'm probably gonna tag another one right here. And then I'd like to get one back in on the side if I can, but we'll see. Oh, so good. It's looking sick, dude. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. Mickey added his little touch. Beautiful little piece to that. Let's keep going. Our mounts dialed in, so now I'm gonna start drilling the holes for the mounts to actually go through this into the mount, because we're recessing the mounts underneath this. So I've got my little tape, I've got my little marks, so I'm gonna start smoking holes, and then we'll set this back on the mounts, put a Sharpie through the hole, mark our mounts, and then we'll drill the mounts, and then we can riv nut everything, then this will go in for the final time. So we're getting there, we're almost there. Ta-da!
What, you done?
Get your phone out of here.
You done?
Yeah. Shit. All these wires everywhere.
Fucking 5 days later.
Ah, that's stable too.
Solid. You almost got it all right.
Push against it and everything. Our floor plate / dead pedal is in. I'm gonna move on. Now we're gonna be installing a set of K-tuned hood hinges on the EK. So these are actually super sick. They're race hinges and they actually come apart. So they're kind of like a quick release hood hinge like we have on the doors. So this is gonna allow us to just like not only pop the hood up, but also take it off super quick if we want to, which is really awesome. So we're gonna start throwing these in.
Hold that up. Like this?
Yeah. Thanks.
It's heavy. Take your time there, Quinn.
Dang. Got it?
There you go. I literally went to sleep when you left me here.
Gonna be here a while.
I guess why Sean quits.
It's good taking his sweet time putting these bolts in.
It's good. Because Ricky doesn't take his sweet time, we end up with cross-threaded bolts, so.
But it's tight.
It's tight. You ain't lying.
Just don't take it off again.
Don't ever take it out. Ever again. stand by just in case I need a catch.
Dang.
That's how easy it is.
Quick release doors, quick release hood.
Man. What's cool is it's locked into place. The only time you can pull it off is if it's all the way up. So if you do forget to latch your hood pins and you're on track and this thing comes up,
She gone.
not only is it coming up, it's ejecting itself, which may not be a bad thing because you'll be able to see. Every time I've seen that happen, it's broke the windshield, dented the hood, and then they're driving off track with your hood flat back like this. At least this one will. But if there's a car behind you, that could be a problem. Just confetti everywhere, carbon fiber confetti. This looks cool. Very good job.
We just finished up installing our hood hinges, and then we're gonna move on to these. So these are our throttle body gaskets and the spacer gasket. So we have an adapter going from the K-Power manifold to an adapter, which is this gasket, and then this gasket goes between the adapter and the throttle body. So we're gonna get these tightened up, snug, sealed properly. We didn't have these until now because they were out of stock, so we're gonna go ahead and toss them in.
We are actually buttoning up a bunch of loose ends. So Quinn today is going to be tackling getting our oil drain, our oil feed, and a few other plumbing items checked off the list. And we're going to see how far we get today. As you guys know, because we started from scratch on this car, nothing existed as far as plumbing. So we're actually creating all of it from scratch. So Brendan from Dime PSI helped us with some of this stuff already. But we're going to go ahead and knock out some of the other stuff ourselves here in our own shop. So Quinn, why don't you show them where you're at, and let's get cranking.
Okay, I'm very excited because getting the oiling system on this finish means that we're just that much closer to first start. So I'm speccing out, so we've got full dash 6. We're going full dash 6 for the cooling system. We're gonna be doing a dash 4 feed for the oil and then a dash and drain out of the turbo. So the turbo has an oil restrictor in it, so I just gotta figure out all of our line setups, get the lines made, get the fittings we need, and then we're done from there. And then we just need to throw on an oil pan gasket, and then pretty much a long block will be ready to start.
Is it running yet?
Damn. Running yet?
I cut that out.
Yeah, so I'm just tightening that down. So I wanted to see if I could fit a 90 on here. So this dash 6 right here. One of our coolant lines. But the tolerance is too tight between the cover and the line to fit a 90 there. What I'm trying to avoid doing is putting a coolant line over the top of the air box. So I want to run it like down underneath everything so you don't see it. The ideal look is going to be this and just the inlet pipe there. So it's not going to be like a mess of lines. So I'm trying my best to kind of tuck everything, you know, hug the side of the engine up underneath so you kind of don't see everything. Be a functional setup, but it'll look clean.
We just zip tie it like that.
Sick. We'll be done.
I was thinking we loop it.
Yeah, just like stuff it in here.
This is how Beckerman would do his car.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But this for the E36, we just zip tie this right here like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
With full scent.
actually gonna be more or less what we're gonna end up with. So I've completed my fittings list. I have everything spec'd out. I just need to go get the fittings, which I'm gonna be doing tomorrow morning on my way into work. So now we're gonna move on to something else. So I am gonna move on to getting the oil pan gasket installed tight and secure. Right now we just have like 2 bolts in it, just kind of holding it up in place. So I'm gonna actually put a gasket on it, put brand new hardware on it so we can actually fill the engine up with oil and it's not gonna leak oil everywhere. And then once that's done, we'll pretty much have the oiling system on this pretty much complete, and then it's just gonna be fuel and spark from there. Then we have a running motor. There's no gasket. So if we fill this thing up with oil, it's gonna go absolutely everywhere unless we put a gasket on it. So I'm gonna put a gasket on it and put it back on and then tighten it down. And then we can put oil in here and it won't be all over the ground, which means we can actually start the car. Yeah, so form and place gasket gets a bad rap because people don't know how to use it. The way you're supposed to use it is you lay it on like this, you stick it against the sealing surface, and you just barely tighten the bolts. So they're not tight at all, they're just like snug, so this is just barely touching it. You leave it for like 10 minutes and then you come back and torque it down. Because if you hole shot it and just crank these things down, it just pushes all of this out of the way. Versus if you let it set for like 10-15 minutes, then it will actually start to harden and then compress as the gasket.
RT wheel is just wiring some stiff fun power. We ordered the that harness last week. Showed up the next day, and now I'm just making a permanent connection because our disconnect is here. I don't need to do a Deutsch pin connection or anything. And with the amperage that this fan's gonna pull, I feel better with a soldered joint. 2 wires soldered together. So our joints are right here inside of an expandable loom, protected, and then he's going to go ahead and clamp those down, mount them, get them nice and tucked. Looks good.
These newish bolts. We have Downstar to put the pan on, but since we gotta take it back off, I'm not gonna use our brand new hardware for that. But look how loose these are. Look how loose these are. Just a tiny little turn will give it more. So when you install something with RTV, that's about how loose you want them. It just barely touches. So this has been sitting for maybe 8 minutes. And so instead of tightening it down all the way, that'll push all the sealant out the sides and it will never be its own gasket. So you have to give it a little bit of space so it'll kind of tack up and become harder. And then after like 10 or 15 minutes, then you really tighten it down. And instead of taking all that FitBig, all that RTV and smashing it and smearing it out the sides, it will actually compress it as a gasket. So that's what we have going on here. So when we tighten it in maybe 8 or 9 minutes, you'll see that it like doesn't just come booking out the sides, it'll actually compress it. We'll get a little bit of stuff coming out the sides, but it's not gonna be like we're pushing it out of the way, if that makes sense. So we're gonna let it sit for another couple of minutes and we'll tighten it down. So our oil pan gasket is done. So we're gonna let this sit for the next couple of days before we put oil in it. so I just finished modifying our engine mount. I had to make some clearance for our turbo blanket. So this guy is going to be responsible for holding the heat in the turbo. So she's gonna sit somewhere like that. It's gonna keep our charge air temps down. It's gonna keep heat from seeping and heat soaking everything else around the turbo. So it'll contain the heat within the turbo itself and kind of not leak out. So it'll pretty much keep everything much colder back here, as well as we're probably gonna heat wrap the downpipe. So kind of contain the heat, but the tolerance, the clearance between the engine mount and the turbo was so close because it was straight like that. So I had to make a little bit of room that the blanket can kind of recess into the mount itself. So that's done. We're gonna go ahead and throw this back in. I'm gonna swing by Crown tomorrow to get our lines made for the oiling and the cooling system, and then we should pretty much have that dialed in within the next day or two. And that is just gonna get us that much closer to first start on this engine. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Where the hell were you on, morning, boy?
I was out. I went to Crown first thing. Look at this. Hose, -10, -16, -6. Fittings for days. This is our oil feed line for the turbo. So it's gonna go like that into the turbo. Give the turbo oil. So we've got coolant fittings. So these are fittings. I gotta put this line together like that, and then our turbo will have coolant going through it. Some of these are actually for heater setup and the coolant system. And that is going to plug in underneath the manifold, run to our heater. This is, I don't know what that is. This is for that, so this will go onto that, something like that. And this is our radiator hose. So this is going to be our upper and lower hose. You can see -16 right here. That's going to go like that. And then that's going to go somewhere over here. And then the other one's going to go from there somewhere back there. Yeah, right there. So I got a bunch of hoses to make and a bunch of hoses to plumb. And then we should have a cooling and oil system complete by the end of the day, I'm hoping.
Which
means
means
we can almost start the car. Which means mechanically we should be good to start the car. So, coolant lines, oil lines, let's do it.
Oh!
What are you doing?
That was not me.
What are you doing?
I was there to catch it. Let's break it down for the people that don't know.
Break it down.
We've got the turbo housing, coolant line.
Okay, so turbine, compressor, right? Compressor wheel. So the exhaust goes to this side of the turbo, air comes in this side. In the center, you have a carrier. So this has the bearings, the thrust bearing, all the center shaft bearings to connect the compressor to the turbine housing. And you need to keep oil in that to keep it lubricated, to keep coolant in it, to keep it cold. So we have oil feed coming from the top of the engine. So this is our VTEC, one of our VTEC solenoids here. So this is pressurized oil that comes through this line into the carrier through the top, and then comes out through the bottom through this drain. So this is a -10 drain back into the oil pan. So that's our oiling system. Our coolant, we have a tap right here that's coming in to the side of the carrier, and it's coming out the other side of the turbo and returning back to the timing cover. This is actually at the top of the water pump. So this is the water pump here. So coolant in, coolant out, oil in, oil out. Happy turbo, lots of power, go fast.
Alright, so right now, Ryan from Wire is going to be here tomorrow, and I'm trying to give power to the PDM. That way, when he gets here tomorrow, he can program each button to do everything the car needs to do, like key on, fuel pumps on, start the car. All that's going to be programmed through here. So Ryan's going to be here in the morning to get it done, but for that, he needs power. So I'm hooking out the main power source for the PDM into the cutoff switch. So that way that has power. And then it'll give power to everything in the car, and he's able to do his job.
So one of the challenges about plumbing a car is you find yourself in a predicament once in a while where a lot of stuff comes together in one place. And in our case, it's our -16 coolant lines who are fighting for space with our AC compressor lines. Both are very important to the build of this car, so we're trying to do this as tidy as possible. I think we're gonna be able to pull it off, but with a few different combinations. This is where the dime kit would come in real handy, where we could lay it out with his plumbing kit and do a bunch of different configurations to decide what we like best. However, we don't have that, so I'm just kind of doing it with what I have here. Luckily, I have a nice little assortment of -16 stuff here, so I'm gonna be able to pull it off, but definitely a little more time consuming than we would have liked it to be. Okay, well, the lines are in. As you can see here, we got our -16 to the thermostat housing on the bottom. And then up top, we have a -16 to our swirl pot, which is over here. And so now that's all plumbed up, I can tighten up the top hose. And then we can run our I think it's -8 over to the high point of the coolant system, which is the bubbler tank. And at that point, then the coolant system's done. All right, well, we've got all the loose ends buttoned up on the car. I'm really excited because that can only mean one thing, that we're ready to start the car. Ryan from Wire is gonna come down tomorrow and go over the whole system with us to make sure we've got everything done properly so that when we key this thing on for the first time, we can actually start it. I don't know if you can tell by the look on my face, but I am really excited. We're so close. This is like 2 years in the making at this point, and I couldn't be happier. So the boys have been kicking butt around here. We've got an excellent team in the shop now. I hope you guys can see that through the videos and you guys vibe on that. This team kicks ass, and this car is gonna kick ass too. So stay tuned for the next one, guys, because it is gonna be epic. This car is gonna be running. Hit that subscribe button because you don't wanna miss it. Leave us some comments and some thumbs up. We appreciate that as well. We'll see you guys later.
He's got 30 balls in there. Put them down.
You got a pocket right in front of your sweater, dog.
Holding everything.
Dude, you can mount that on.
Yeah, bro.
This whole thing is
What's
amazing.
wrong with this guy?
Twin quality? This is a Friday.
This is falling apart.
Damn, you're a used parts today, bud.
Oh my god.
I'm taking you to LKQ.
What do you say, Will?
I said I need to get right behind you here, Nate. Ow!
Rip the clip.
Almost done.
Oh, I'm just taking all your tools, Quinn. Taking them all.
Get out of here, Will.
Just trying to get work done around here, and Will's just taking all our shit.
You guys both want to do this? Did you have a good Thanksgiving, Quinn?
Nah.
What? Thanksgiving was like 2 weeks ago, dude. Yeah, it was sick.
That was a good one, huh?
Events. I like it.
What is it?
Random question of the day.
Okay.
What was your first car?
The first car I bought or the first car I had?
Just like first car that was like yours.
My first car was actually a truck. It was a 97 F-150. 4x4 V8. But it was kind of like, it was mine until my sister started driving. She's a year younger than I am, and then it was kind of our car. My first, like my car was my M3, 1998 M3 that I bought. Oh, wow. That was like my car. Yeah. Sick.
No.
I want to know, Will, what was your first car?
Mazda 6. Not proud of it.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Because it was front wheel drive, 4-speed automatic, 4-banger, seafoam green. That's the first car straight out.
1988 Honda Civic base model. Bought it with my own money. And
You wrecked her.
all my boys had Mustangs, 5-liter Mustangs, so I had put a huge ass shot of nitrous on it and blew it sky high.
Show it anyway.
Yeah, throw that anywhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna toss it over here so we find it later. Oh, I'm gonna trip on that.
I almost got that.
What a mess.
I'm gonna trip on that and eat shit.
It is Monday.
Hey, bud, can we not?
Hey, can you not?
Hey, can you not?
You playing with Legos over there, Mick?
Yeah, we're just trying to get organized around here, dog. All these fittings inside of a toolbox is just a bad look to us. But the problem is these Dash 16 fittings are so massive that I don't even fit two of them in here.
exactly fitting.
These fittings aren't fitting.
Wow.
That was pretty bad. That was pretty cringe, dog.
Is this your shower curtain?
This is so we can have showers here after hours. After hour showers.
Rip. Okay, second question. I posted a reel on Friday, and the thumbnail was upside down. And I don't know how to fix it.
What'd you do?
I have no idea. I don't know.
It's your fucking trap phone.
It must be, dude. Yeah, look at this. Yeah. So this stuff really gets a bad name because people don't know how to use it correctly.
Were you just singing some Iggy Azalea there, Will?
Yes, I was. Is that okay?
Jeez. I didn't know. I don't even know what to think about that.
Will's a very cultured man.
You are.
How do you not know this, Nate?
Apparently.
Wow.
Will gets wild.
I'm still trying to, he's worked here for months. And I'm still trying to figure him out.
Good luck.
He said good luck.
Yeah.
The people want to see a sneak peek.
Oh?
You know what I'm talking about.
They're not ready for that.